Hello, welcome to my work area here. This afternoon I'm continuing to talk about how to do pleats or folds when you're making your junk journals and how paper can make such a difference. Right here I started to do a design with the sewing machine in a cream color. And then this is these two are hem tapes. This particular hem tape is iron-on. And so then when I'm sewing, I just go down here and keep going. But I ironed the pink onto the brown so that it could make a nice space there. And over here, what I discovered is this particular fabric is silk, so I can do a little burnish right here and get an extra kind of an accented look here with the pleats. So this is a brown 100% silk fabric that I found up at my store, thrift store. And then this is an example of where I took the tissue paper and I took a kind of lace that is the same on both sides, and so basically I'm covering a pretty part of it by making this like folded, but you can see that with the decorative stitch it's really very nice. So I just took decorative scissors and cut strips. I was looking for something purple, pink and purple, because that's what I'm working on in one of my journals. So I wanted to show that, and I wanted to show some other things that I have done. I have found this really neat, interesting paper that is that this is what it came like, and it was a bundle for 25 cents. And so I took it and I took a piece of this, which was $1. It's a ribbon, just really pretty. And so I decided that I would do a fold to make a border, or I could actually cut this up and make it into a little collage spot, put something else on it. I could turn it this way, or I could turn it this way. Actually, I think I would want it to be this way because I would want the leaves to show. And I recently ordered some beautiful paper set by My Porch Prints, and this came free, this little piece of paper art, and it came free with it. I just love the combination of this purple and the music together. And so I have done a couple of different folds or pleats here, and then I did a pleat here. I used this and I pleated here, and I put some purple seashells. And then what I'll do is I'll join these two together and make it a large tag. And then this is an example of ribbon that I bought that has it has what we call wire in it, and so it kind of would do on its own like this. And so I took a piece of lace again that I found at the thrift store, and it has kind of an eyelet in the middle, and then it comes with the lace on both sides. And so this is another way I'm able to create a border. I didn't fold the trim. I simply folded the and this was already lacy on both sides. So if I wanted to, I could fold it if I needed for it to be smaller. but it's pretty thick, so that wouldn't, have worked very well. This is an example of the My Porch Prints paper that I ordered, and here is some more of it. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I'm working on a lavender book, and so that's what I mean by the purple and the pinks. So here's an example. It's called Wildflowers, of where I've taken the store-bought basil is what it's called. It's called basil. And I showed that on a previous video, but this is, and I have been letting this dry, so I still had some. But I took a piece of ribbon that has that color in it, and I added it to the basil that I had bought. And then this side, the paper is so pretty that I don't want to show, I don't want to hide it with pockets. So what I'm doing is putting acetate and so I was trying hard to get that to, to dry so that this could be used as a pocket, and it wouldn't hide the beautiful artwork. And then this is a light piece of lace that I can also use for a pocket. But I'm probably going to have to sew that. I don't think the acetate is wanting to glue down very good, or maybe I need another glue. But this is an example of where I took some purple and did some pleats, and you can see what a beautiful accent that is on there. I found an interesting group of stationery that I also use a pleated around the edge, and this is going to actually be a pocket in a journal. But these are beautiful pieces of stationery that that will be really nice to use as pockets in in journals. But just another example of how I used a piece of lace and did a little pleat over there. Another example is using hem tape. This is actually a hem tape that is pretty wide, and it's brown. And what I did here was I put a piece of ribbon on it, pleated the brown, and then had the lace be, and then I added some bulb pins and a couple of gears and put a gold on either side. And now I have made a tag using that. This is another example of where I'm working on some big tags for a journal, and just beautiful the way the pleat turned out. This is more of that brown silk, and I'm working on taking some of the and making different tags using that same pleat and using different trims. So this goes together really well, and I can actually make this into a tag. But this is the fabric, and I've torn it. It's a little hard to tear, but this is the 100% silk that can be used for that can take the little piece of fire on it. And then just taking a piece of this kind of paper and folding it to make it pattern paper. It's really kind of thin and beautiful, and that can actually be folded and turned into a piece of this tag that I'm working on. So using it in tags, using it in stationery, using it in, here's an example of where I'm working on some pages in a journal, and I did the blue around the edge, but I didn't think that it ended up having a seam on it that was not wasn't very, I needed to cover it with something. And so I took this piece of paper and pleated it around the edge to make it so working on the book pages. Here's another example of where I have cut out a tag, and I've put a piece of paper from a book that that has house prints in it from the Victorian era. And then this is a piece of ribbon that already had the lace on it. So I just did a zigzag stitch. But how you can take and make large tags with different books or different from other different designs from using other books. And this is an example of a page where I've already made the pocket, and that's in another video. But then I have taken this Susan Branch book that has some really nice, and then you can see the lace is a really pretty kind of a cream color lace, and it's got a scalloped edge on the outside, and this is the right side. And so what I did was I just joined the lace together on both sides, and this will be a journal sheet on that side, and then this side I'll have pockets. This particular one, I've used the architectural, I called it an architectural book. It's called Victorian Buildings, Floor Plans, and Elevations for Houses and Other Structures. And so that's what I'm using, using the house plans. You can see that I've cut the book up quite a bit. And I have pleated, taken the house and have pleated the edges together and have made some different pleats with this page here on this side. It kind of just adds an extra texture. It adds an extra interest to the book and to the pages, and just makes it more interesting. This particular paper needed to be a certain width, and so I added an extra width to it here to make it, and here's an example of another page. I've got lots of threads here, and using that that same pleated strips fabric that I coffee dyed, set them outside to dry. And then this is an example of where I took a page and made a little tuck right here. This is a page in a journal, and I've sewn this so that you can tuck something in this. And this is a really interesting piece of pattern here. And I don't know where I got it. I got it at the thrift store, but just would make great tags and pages or books or pleats, or all sorts of things can be done with it. And so what I have done here is pleated it and put green hem tape on it so that it can be used as a tuck spot. And this is an example of where I took muslin and did a sort of a skirt, but it's actually going to be the edge of a page. It's going to end up going on the edge of a page. And then another example is I took this hem tape here, has is fusible. It has where you iron it. So I ironed these two pieces of hem tape together, and these doilies, there were just a couple of them, maybe what, 4 or 6 or something. So that's going to be in a page in a book, and I have actually pleated these to make kind of a bow in the middle. So using hem tape, using muslin, these are all ways that one can use different elements to make. This is another interesting, this is actually a piece of wallpaper. I cut it off and added it to a tag, made a tag out of it, and it's this is the same thing as what I showed you before that was in the blue. This also came, this much was 25 cents at the thrift store. Don't know what it was ever used for. So I kind of did a pleat here and made a little heading right here using the wallpaper. I cut out a bit of the wallpaper, sewed around it, and made the little pleat using the purple and the green, the purple seam binding and the green right there. So that worked as well. This is the way it came. You know, this was 50 cents, but it's this huge, long length of this, and it's just beautiful. It is a repeating pattern, but it's got the little flowers and a white chair, all kinds. It's just really pretty, and so a lot can be done with something like this. So this is where I took and kind of cut it out and put it on, and I'm making, you know, a tag with that. And then the couple of more things is making a little girl's dress or skirt by pleating or making this a pleated. And then this is a real pretty piece of grosgrain. It's actually grosgrain ribbon. And so this is where I took this piece and was able to make a little insert for a page, and I actually had found a butterfly that went with it. Or I could actually put paper on the back and make it into a, you know, a tuck spot. But it matched really well, and turns out, so even, you know, using pleats with the grosgrain ribbon and this paper product, whatever it is, and or making a little dress is just another example. This is taking tissue paper and making a, using pleated paper. I pleated some of the tissue paper along the side here, and I pleated, did I pleat that? Yes, I pleated right here, and then made a little pocket, and used the dark blue hem tape for that. But that's just a piece of tissue paper that I sewed together because I like the color combination of it. And I'll probably heat and bond this to a piece of cardboard to make it into a tag. And then the last thing is making pleats. These are this is the store-bought basil, where you can buy the pleated fabric or the pleated paper from a company called Basil, and I put that in a previous video. But you can make tags using pleats there, and adding just different types of decorations. This has some stamps on it, and some green and purple, and doing some mixed media on it. So those are some of the different ways that one can take and use pleats over and over, using lots of different elements from the thrift store. If you have any questions about any of the things that I put together, please feel free to email me. My email is in the description box below. My Etsy store's Yesterday's Stash, and my videos are on YouTube. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching. We'll talk again soon.